Hello everyone, my name is Felicia Rufus, and I'm here to do my commemorative video about my grandmother. I want to pay homage to her. Her name was Mary Lou Hand. My grandmother was a wonderful woman. She married my grandfather, which is Frank Hand, and they had 10 wonderful children. I am a product of my mother, which is Linda Rufus, and my father, which is Louis Rufus. When I was born, my mother was still living at home with my grandparents, and my mother was going to nursing school, so I stayed with my grandmother, and in turn, she raised me. I didn't live with my mother until I was about 18 years old, so my grandmother taught me many things. My grandmother was a no-nonsense type of woman. She said what she meant, and she meant what she said. And if she told you something, you can trust and believe it would happen. My grandmother taught me valuable lessons in life. She instilled in me that I had to go to school and get a good education. She would always tell me, I want you to go to school and get something in that head, so the world can't ever take that away from you. She also taught me how to be a lady. She taught me how to carry myself as a lady. She taught me how to dress. She taught me just so many words of wisdom. She would often say, I'm going to tell you up front so you won't be sticking out behind. And that meant, I'm going to tell you where I'm coming from the beginning. You don't have to keep asking me over and over again. Meaning, she said what she meant, and she meant what she said. My grandmother was a wonderful lady. I mean, just, I can live a lifetime and never equal and be the woman that she was. She raised 10 kids on just a minimum wage salary. My grandmother worked at a shirt factory, making about $2 an hour or piecework, which she folded shirts and pressed collars, making sometimes 25 cents a shirt, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but we never went hungry. We never went without having heat or water. She always made sure that things were done at the house. We all had to play our part too. My grandmother, every Friday she would say, well, if you make good grades for the week, and I would have to bring home a report. She said, I would take you shopping. And so every week I was shopping. And she made sure that I got what I wanted. At about 17 years old, my grandfather passed, and he had an old car, a Plymouth, a 79 Plymouth. And she gave me that car. And I drove that car very well. And that was a hard time for us. And we made it through. And my grandmother, she was a church secretary for many years. She was in a group that had something to do with the Freemasons. She was a Bluebell. My grandmother just had so many strong points. She pretty much ran the house, and she pretty much told my grandfather what he had to do, and he had to do it, or else it would have been a price to pay. My grandmother passed away last year, and it was a very sad moment in my life, because it was like my mother. Really, she was my mother, because she did raise me, and I was able to do a poem when she passed away. And at her funeral, I did a poem. It was called Grandma, and it says, "You loved me from the very beginning, and I love you too. You taught me how to dress and to carry myself as a lady. You took me to church, where I learned about Jesus, and you always told me Jesus was my only friend and not my girlfriend. But at that time, I couldn't understand why she would always say that. But now that I'm a grown woman, and now that I'm older, I understand her metaphor. Grandma, you would always tell me, go to school and get something in that head of yours, so that no one in the world could ever take that away from you. I watched you as you worked your fingers through the bone to take care of our family. and I knew that one day I would do the same. You were always a woman of many words. Very kind, very outspoken, but straight and direct to the point. You would always say, I'm going to tell you up front so that you won't be sticking out behind. You taught me how to treat others the way that I wanted to be treated. And Grandma, I love you, and I could never, ever, as long as I live, thank you enough for being the woman that you taught me to be. For you have shown me and made me just what I am today, and I love you.